Okay. Welcome back to the Ed Show. Today, hundreds of thousands of Iranian supporters of the reformist candidate gathered to mourn the people who have died in election protests this week. President Obama has been really walking a tightrope on this all week about the Iranian situation. He said he does not feel it's his place to meddle in this election process. Obama has been taking heat from the left and the right for not talking more about this and for not taking more of a lead on this. It's getting personal. Listen to Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher.
I think that Mr. Obama, if he continues to have these type of attitudes, we're going to see things get very bad very quickly. Already the North Koreans have challenged him and realized that he's a cream puff. Now, if the mullahs in Iran are permitted to just roll over their opposition, somewhat like Tiananmen Square, we will have missed a great opportunity.
Joining me now is Senator Jim Webb of Virginia, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Webb, good to have you with us tonight on the Ed Show. What is your are you satisfied with President Obama's response to what is going on in Iran right now?
He's doing the right thing. I think we have to be very careful. We are getting a look at a political system and a society that has been rather opaque to us. And we have to remember that it's axiomatic in autocratic systems that in order to galvanize your population, you try to have some sort of external threat to focus on them. And they actually apparently have been doing this already with some of these cuts from Fox News to try to insinuate that what's going on is somehow involves United States meddling. And the Republicans who are saying this, quite frankly, are the same ones who use the axis of evil connotation, which didn't help us in terms of moving forward in Iran. They've been doing a lot of other things similar to that, and I think it's very important right now to let this situation evolve and to examine how the Iranian political system is handling it without having the United States become the focus of what's going on.
Now, what is your response to Dana Rohrabacher and some of the rhetoric that's being thrown around, bringing in North Korea, taking a look at the North Korean situation? Are you behind what President Obama is doing on that situation as well?
Again, I think that with North Korea right now, what we are doing is properly confronting them without unnecessarily provoking the situation so that it goes off in a direction that might not be the best way for it to go. We're not backing away on any of these things. We're trying to use some wise leadership, and quite frankly, on these issues, we haven't seen that kind of leadership over the past 8 years, and that's one of the reasons that we have been in the situations that we've been in.
Senator Webb, I know the conservatives are out there trying to push the issue, saying that President Obama is showing weakness by not inserting himself and maybe missing an opportunity at a revolution that would be advantageous to the United States. How far should the president go with this approach? Should he not get involved at all?
First of all, I've had my points of disagreement with this administration. At the same time, I want to say he inserted himself very courageously when he went to Cairo and made the speech that he made, and I think that had enormous impact in that part of the world. So he basically took the stinger out in terms of allowing governments such as the Ahmadinejad government to use the United States as some sort of a galvanizing force that in a way allowed them to continue their repression. So I think this is a smarter approach. We will weigh in at the right time in terms of our views on how to deal with Iran. But right now, we need to be very careful, and we need to watch the situation as it evolves, and I think we're doing that.
Senator Webb, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Nice to be with you.
For more on this, let's turn to our panel. Bill Press is a nationally syndicated radio talk show host, and John Feary is a Republican strategist, and Nancy Skinner joins us tonight, radio talk show host and Democratic strategist. Nancy, we'll start with you tonight. Do you think the president is being too soft on this? Should he inject himself into this process?
Well, first of all, Ed, this is the first tweet allusion, that Musavi's doing with Twitter. It's fascinating to watch, but, think about the double standard here. if the Democrats had essentially called Bush a wussy in matters of foreign policy, can you imagine the uproar? And so, no, I think that Obama has handled this perfectly because, look, he's also looked at history. And George H.W. Bush did something similar in Iraq, where he got all the Iraqi citizens all enraged about this and then didn't support him. So we've learned from the mistakes of the past. He's doing his plan, which was the Cairo speech, as Senator Webb said. He's got a longer-term view of this, and these guys should just pipe down and let the President of the United States conduct foreign policy relationships with other heads of state.
John, what do you think?
Well, I'm not going to take the traditional conservative line on this. I actually think the president's playing it pretty well, and I'll tell you why. We've got interest in Iraq and we've got interest in Afghanistan, and the more the Iranians sort this out for themselves, I think the better off we are as a nation. I don't think that we should be meddling, and I think that the Iranians are going to sort this out. I also think the president's right that neither one of these characters are that great. Both of them support nuclear policy. Both are fairly conservative by our standards, and, you know, we'll see how this plays out. I think we should be with the reformers at the right time, but I don't think right now this is about America. This is about Iran.
How instability, Bill Press, has got to be an issue right now. I mean, this could really evolve into a full-fledged revolution over there. We don't know. Should the president be engaging in a full range of diplomacy with surrounding countries? What do you think?
I think he is, Ed, but I'm glad to hear John say that. I really think, look, this is a tightrope walk right now, right? And I think the president's handling it right in two ways. Number one, he's refused to recognize this allegedly re-elected government. And secondly, he's expressed his concern that there could be a lot of fraud and not an honest count there. I think the last thing you want is for the great Satan to step into the middle of this mess and to say, right now it's Iranians versus Iranians. We make it Iranians versus the United States, everybody loses.
Exactly.
And the chance for reform is lost.
So this is a big opportunity here?
It's a huge opportunity as long, I think, as we play it right and let it play out. And I think this could play out to, as Nancy said, a peaceful Twitter revolution.
All right.
In Iran.
Well, and just the idea that these guys, as the senator said, they're playing clips from Fox News and they're trying to intervene in an international, very volatile situation, Ed. This is where I think the Democrats have to say, listen, shut up. It's time for you to, you know, this is foreign policy relations, a potential revolution. This is not time for you to call the president a cream puff and really fight back.